Hey, Emperor taisuko and your two division mates, Asteroid and Amir, Mirzar Bob. Fuck that name. Anyways, you have to name review, aim/RNG review, I guess. Basically, this is the second time I watched this replay. I do often like frame reviews at least to watch over replays multiple times. Although for normal replay analysis, which honestly this is more kind of what's important here, replay analysis compared to just pure aim review. I'm going to be straight up right now and just say this is going to be very savage. I'm going to be very brutal and savage and honest with you regarding the course of the actions of this game, and I'm going to watch through the entire thing and cover the entire thing and not just the portion of the game at which you spend alive. So let's go to the start of the game while we have some time. Lineup: theyre, Yamato, Kurfürst, the Kremlin. They definitely get a bit more of the upfront tankiness in terms of raw armor. We do get a fair bit better firepower compared to them in that sense. Kurfürst and Kremlin guns can be quite trolly and random at long range, especially compared to that of theyre and Yamato. Iowa, Ithmo, they're crap in their own way, if you ask me. Personally, I'm not a major fan of them, but then again, I don't really like slow or inflexible battleships like Ithmo, and I never really found my charm with the Iowa either. Sovietsky Soyuz versus Sovietsky Soyuz, that's balanced. North Cal versus Vladivostok on a map like this, I would favor the North Carolina though. Moscow, Alaska, two big cruisers, well, two large cruisers compared to Hindenburg, St. Louis. Hindenburg can be very useful because it'll, if he has IFHE, which he probably doesn't because it's kind of silly, he'll melt through all of our ships with ease. Otherwise, he'll still melt through the majority of things here, except the 57mm of deck armor of the Yamato, for example. Edinburgh Otago, so yeah, for this map, neither of them really are that great. Although if the Otago finds himself in a position where he can kite, he can do a fair bit of damage. Shima versus Gearing, similar concealment, similar capability ship. Shima's got much better torpedo firepower compared to that of the Gearing, if you fully spec fit with things like legendaries and if he's got F3s, God bless you. You should be on 200,000 damage this game at the end of that Shima. Anyways, trying to line up our first shot. Let's slow down the not that much. Slow down the replay to half speed and have a look at what we're trying to do here. I'll pause the replay just as we fire it. The obvious target is the Sovietsky Soyuz right now, and we're currently unspotted, but this is the position where you'd be expecting to be taken incoming from as any ship trying to cross there, and your options are either to turn in. In this case, you can see, on the map is a very useful tool in the game. Take this line, and remember, this is a completely vanilla client. If you're using any mods, you just have to realize what the differences are and figure out what you can use. In general, the mods only make this easier, not worse. Take this, take the normal of the line of travel for your ship. Take a perpendicular walk to it and look at that in relation to him, and you can see he's traveling towards us. Take your aim and take the horizon of your chevron, and you'll realize that we're currently aiming basically at the tip of his bow. He's sailing inwards. These shells are going to go over unless he turns out. So aim-wise, that's not the best thing ever there. Put the map back in a reasonable size for my preference. However, the lead is okay. I would say you could have dragged it about the tip of, the size of a gun turret from the tip of the barrel to the back end of the weights, more to the right, just to lead a little bit more. You can see two deflections. They could have been deck deflections, could have just hit some angled belt as it turned in. It's a bit hard to say at this point. That's a Saint Baguette at long range. Honestly, I wouldn't even waste my ammo, but there's nothing better to really shoot at, so I mean, we could be trying to shoot these guys, and that's really what I would be trying to do. It's a Saint Baguette. Not the best aim in the world. The guy's going, the guy can easily change his speed. He's in a reasonably happy position, and I think I'm pretty sure, yeah, we underlead that shot. But then again, how much of that is because he realized that you try to shoot him in the side, and just simply accelerated out of the way because he wasn't going full speed there, and how much of that is just him wanting to accelerate because, oh my god, half the enemy team's up my ass. theyre picks up the Gearing, very good job for him. This Ithmo is not moving very fast forwards, and we have a division mate in the Venom to call that out, and again, you can use the horizon. Those shells were aimed a little bit off. The off here in it isn't really that big, and you can see that in the shells outgoing here. These are going high. Two deflections off the deck. Bit unfortunate, could have been a bit more damage, but then again, RNG could have screwed that over as well. Nothing really much to say about that in the end. And again, now that we don't have a direct line of sight on the actual terrain behind, you can use the minimap to see where your indicator is. In this case, the replays aren't all that accurate with that, but it's showing you there. I mean, you fire out the map, you can see it breaks. It's just the nature of the replays, unfortunately. But again, use the horizon, use the map. You can tell again that he is traveling closer to us. You just draw a parallel line on the ship and see where it is. And you see that he's traveling like 25-30 degrees closer towards us, ish. If you have a mod that tells you this information, the better it is for you. Although personally, I'm against using these kind of mods. I don't deem them cheating, but I'm a competitive purist. Plus, it's information you can easily derive from the game and client anyways, just without the accuracy, and you learn off by instinct, so therefore you're going to be better off at more quickly reacting to it than having to do mathematics in your head. But hey, I suppose if you're playing on the Asian server, Asians and maths, I guess you want to do that, go ahead. But the way this is currently aimed, we'll speed it up to a bit more of a combat speed, and we'll see what we actually end up shooting them. If I recall correctly, we ended up shooting them slightly on the high end, considering he's closing the distance. We don't fully account for that. But if he wants to stick around there and the Venom's in range, he's gonna have a bad day if he tries to do this speed shenanigans of his. And again, like, yeah, a little bit on the high end. Dispersion could of course have been a little bit better. We also could have led a slightly bit less, get the division mate with the torpedoes just to tell you what the guy is doing. Anyway, if you ran into an enemy Mogador, the enemy gearing is dead. Last remaining Mogador is up there, and he just exploded to the friendly Mogador. So it's only 2 remaining destroyers. Nobody's contested Bravo. Well, we spotted the Mogador down here, and it's, I think, the Sasha left. The Sasha V left. Spoiler alert, he's down here. We know that. You know that. We know that by now. So that's not really the end of the world. But just for the sake of the replay analysis, he could be loitering up on the north, trying to spam torpedoes like a typical Asashio player. PS shooting a Hindenburg like that. Yeah, good luck. If he sees your shells coming, you're just going to dodge them at this range. Points are triangle, at least. Anyways, looks like Arlaska pops a Flamu and actually catches the Mogador. Good play by him. Mogador is out of torpedo range. Chatako, that's also down there, is going to be out of torpedo range. Let's slow this down. Actually, let's pause that. We are aiming target, you can use the range numbers, they're pretty accurate. 18.3 kilometers away. We aimed our shot 17.84 kilometers away. That is a full speed Hindenburg. The results will speak for themselves. So that's going to fly over his head. Use this information in the game. You see the guy, we know our shells take about a dark year and a half planetary circle rotation to get there. I'm just making shit up at this point. And we can see that all of those ended up going over his head. Drag the lead down. He's 18 kilometers away. You need to shoot about 18 and a half. You need to aim that about 17 for you to have a decent chance to land them on the top of his superstructure. And even then, you got the top of his ship and they still went past. We just fired. That's perfect timing to pause that. And again, we know he's traveling at full speed. He's 15.9 kilometers away. We aim at 15.6. That's a 300 meter difference. And you can see this is 300 meters in the game. But he's clearly aware. He's currently shooting at something right in front of us, our div mate. So he's obviously aware of anything that's going to be coming in this kind of a field of view area, and he'll see this happening to him. So he's obviously going to put some effort into dodging that. And the most logical thing, dodging maneuver at this point for him is to turn in. So we aimed it there, as if he's going to kind of just sail in a straight line and slow down. Even if he's sailing in a straight line, we're still going to hit the back end of his ship. But we need to remember he's going to turn in. So he's going to skid, drift a teeny little bit. He's going to drift about this kind of distance off to the left. And then move his bow in. So the point, we aimed here. We kind of needed to aim here. With the same, and you can see that the big difference in distance. Unfortunately, the game doesn't tell you. But your sights kind of would have needed to look a bit like this. Compared to that. And even that's an overlay. We aimed here. So let me just get the camera gun sight out of the way. And then play ball. And you can see the shells are falling to the right end of the ship, and the guy, all of them are all going well over the top of his head. Anyways, we're turning our ship out, which is a good thing. We're gonna eat that, nothing we can do about that. Instantly press the R button, trigger the heal immediately. Since we're still taking a bit of damage, after that 5 key damage, definitely Damak on a heal immediately. He's used his torpedo reload boost, so the Alaskan radar just pushed away the Mogador. None of those are in torpedo range. The Artico's not in torpedo range. We're not in danger at all of eating more torpedoes. It's really just fire damage. So yeah, not having premium consumables obviously is going to hurt, and we're noticing that there's a glossy surface on our flank. Not really much we can do about that, and the best thing we can do at the moment really is just to maintain our current angle. Don't try to turn like that. We still have 4.2 kilometers, 4.2, about 5 kilometers to the border. 4.5 kilometers to the border. We're perfectly safe. We can just keep heading in this direction and just wait the glossy surface out. Firing now to the Curfews is not really that smart. First of all, we can't do diddly squat to him, even shoots us back. Gets, I think, one saturated, one full pen against us, but we can't do diddly squat to him. Our guns aren't even fully turned. So now, if we do decide to fire our no matter what, actually, we're going to be staying spotted for him to be able to fire on us again. The DDs weren't chasing us. We do get 2 resets on him. And there you go, we're now broadside to him when we open fire. This could have been aimed slightly more ahead to land them on the center section of the ship. Like here right now, they're gonna land a bit more like that, depending on what the guy does to turn. You can see they're going slightly. Remember, there is a delay on the what you visually see, but I don't know how your visual delay is. And again, that was aimed at the same spot, could have aimed at about 1.5 gun turrets more to the right side. They've made lightly called out the torpedoes that we have to worry about, and would at least it's one more salvo. We're turning out. We could just slow the ship down. Those Assassins are still a fair bit off. Slowing the ship down at that point also would have mitigated a bit of the aim of the Curfews. 12k damage is help we don't really want to lose right now. Please don't fire. That's a bad idea in case we just got ourselves concealed and we're now revealing ourselves again in a pretty bad position. We don't have premium consumables. We don't have time to get the heals up. This is much better lead right now, but he's made himself free of the B cap, so unfortunately these are all going to fall short. Again, simply due to the nature of him, he's free from the constrained area of the island, so he can maneuver as he now wishes. And you can see he's having a better time of damaging us than we're having of damaging him. He's no longer broadside to us either. And he's gonna be pretty happy just to sit there. And in fact, it turns out that's exactly what he's doing. You can look to the relation of his speed to any kind of terrain on the water, and you can see he's slowing down. So unfortunately, this is all gonna miss. We're not achieving anything. We're throwing away HP. We don't do any damage to him. And remember, how many people, just stop this a little bit, how many people on the map can shoot this Glossar first? 1. You. How many people can shoot you? These guys can't a little bit. He'll soon be able to Hindenburg, and there's a couple of DDs behind us as well, and you can see the torpedoes are passing. Not worth it. It simply isn't worth it. You're better off, and you would have been better off keeping the guns aimed on this side and just trying to fight off the guys behind you. And trying to fight off a Hindenburg like that isn't really fun either, mind you, but at least it's better than trying to poke a Glossar Curfews that we can't kill. We cannot possibly kill this guy right now. If he wants to, in 99% of any engagement of this type, we would not be able to kill him because he's too far away. Our guns are no longer effective, and you can see we're out of 9 shells. Yeah, they weren't the world's best aim. We got 2 hits, 1 full pen. If he doesn't want to be shot at, he just goes concealed. We cannot shoot him anymore. He solves the problem. He does not need to worry about that. Much better lead this time. Could aim a little bit more. Buzz it right, and that's pretty much a consistent thing. Aim lead a little bit more. You're not off by much. The other thing is, like I said, did mention earlier, account for people and their maneuvers. In this case, the dispersion was pretty damn good. Unfortunately, he turned out because he has space to maneuver. And now we're sitting broadside again because we made a bit of a silly gun turret turn when leaving Alpha. On our egress, please don't shoot the Yamato. We're not unlikely to get any real damage against him. That's not really worth shooting either. And he's reversing, so the second series of shells going out, I'm not sure how many turrets were set on that. Are unlikely to find themselves doing much damage, but at least our health situation is back in reasonable control. 4 deflections, 3 deflections, 1 failed pen, and an over penetration. Thankfully, his aim was just as bad. So, well, okay, his aim was as if he were a terrible player that's just going to sail broadside. More lead, that's enough to go. Bit more lead. If he goes full speed, that is. Altago actually in this case makes a smart play. He figures that you're going to assume he's going to go sailing in a straight line or turning out. He actually turns back in again, so we're going to shoot over his head. Maybe blow up the captain's hat off in the process, but we're now in a bowing situation. This is not good. We have a Mogador 12 kilometers in our face. We do not have concealment expertise. We are screwed. This is a situation we never should have ended up in the first place. Then we waste a shot against the Sovietsky Soyuz instead of trying to blow up the guy that is currently spotting us. Mind you, the Hindenburg will keep us spotted. So at this point, with a heal coming online, we should be taking a risk just to simply turn out. Leave. We're still an Iowa class. We're still a battleship. Our armor is still not crap. But this guy is currently... Yeah, I'm not sure. He might have been turning his turrets, though. It's 2 guys aiming at us. He's definitely a confirmed guy aiming at us. Chances are it's one of the guys back there. That might be the other guy or the Sovietsky Soyuz. In fact, now it's only 1. If we maintained full speed and simply turned out, we would have been in a safe position right now. This guy's likely just going to torpedo destroy a teammate because he's the one that spotted him. Shooting H, he had a low HP baguette DD. Is never really the best idea in the world, but goddamn that dispersion. And oh, look at that, 5 out of 5. The enemy DD screwed up and turned into every single one of them. That is not because you aimed well. In fact, that aim was not very good at all. Unfortunately, I didn't show that on there. You kind of just got lucky he sailed into them. I don't know, perhaps that's the meta for dodging on the Asian server that I'm not familiar with. Anyways, we have now committed suicide. We are dead. We have an Asashio that is going to be torping us in the side. Our Venom can potentially be trying to spot that if he moves over here. We now have to deal with, and again, this is kind of just firepower and just damage and firepower control. We are being shot at. Let's pause this. One guy can shoot. He can potentially shoot us. He's low HP. He isn't going to. This guy can shoot us. These destroyers can potentially be trying to deal damage to us. We got a Vladivostok. We got a Kremlin pushing in there. But we got a Gosakurfus. He's busy with that stuff though. We got Sovietsky Soyuz. We can shoot at any given point one guy. We have a team behind us that at any given point can shoot one guy, and if they're smart about it, they'll probably not try to focus on Vladivostok. It's not really that dangerous right now. Getting rid of the info might not be a bad idea. This guy's pretty much safe, and this guy's not really doing much either. It's an out to go. Kind of can just leave it be. He doesn't penetrate any of our deck armors without IFHE, and looks like our friend in the hotel looks like he's gonna get away, because any torpedoes that would have been in a position to hit him would likely have had to go through us. Anyways, shots against the Otoko, all of them are on the lead. Every single one of our salvos against him ended up being completely on the lead. And, I mean, the first one you could see, the guy didn't even react to us properly in that situation. Anyways, you decided to turn to shoot him. You might as well keep shooting him. He's 14.3 kilometers away, so he can somewhat dodge them, but he's also somewhat keen on sailing broadside. And at this point, if he just pressured the Otoko, he's probably thinking, no, I don't want to be here anymore. Anyways, another shot that is completely on the lead. These shells are all going to land on the back end of a ship. You could just sail in a straight line and not have to worry about them at all, except the fact you have a team, of course. But on the lead, completely on the lead. We do damage control a single fire there with a gun turret break. I mean, with the gun turret break in there, it might be worth a bit more to damage on that if our intention is to pressure damage, but there you go. Asashio torpedoes could have been a pretty big threat to us right now. But we're currently still spotted by DD, so there really isn't much we can do about it, and all of a sudden we decide, hey, let's go shoot at a Kremlin that we can't really damage compared to an Otoko that we might get to blow up, and is very keen on sailing broadside to us. That shot, again, like I said earlier, the guy's sailing in, and the Sovietsky Soyuz does manage to clip us in the side and blow us out of the water. If we shot AP, that Mogador probably would have exploded by now, and that's a bit unfortunate on the dispersion, but again, slightly aimed high. So, with that rapid rate talking done, our teammate's trying to poke a Mogador long range. Good luck, have fun. He shouldn't even be trying that at this point. He should just smoke up, especially now. He's way too far away and he's underleading again, a common theme for shooting at fast ships. So he smokes up, he's now concealed, he is now concealed, he is now concealed. He cannot be seen by the enemy team because he fired his guns, and oh dear, he's now spotted again. What a mess up. You don't want to be doing this because you still have a 20-second penalty and you can see the incoming shells right now, but the 20-second penalty will expire shortly. And thankfully, the Kremlin didn't actually have aim to shoot us, but he knows we're here, so he's likely just going to try to turn up like this to try to evade the torpedoes that he anticipates you would have tried to torp like this. Anyways, with our concealment now, this is a correct play. We'll be able to catch the Mogador with a couple more seconds. Maybe some of the team back there line up another shot. And okay, this is because we're following the torpedoes. And you can see the Kremlin does pretty much what the small thing to do is. And that is to mitigate the... this is your free cam. I suppose we'll just go up here because following your free cam is going to be a bit annoying because I don't know what he's going to do. But well, we get a commandeering enough view of the game, so I won't complain. Kremlin makes a small play. He knows your torpedoes are slow, so it's just a matter of turning out. And there you go. Look at that. Yamato does a grand total of diddly squat. Yamato's committing suicide, not really the best play ever. He can't really beat that up front, and he still has to deal with an Asashio that's going to be spamming torpedoes at him. Venom, at this point, just needs to try to maintain pressure. It looks like somebody is pinging. These guys are in a perfectly fair position. They're a little bit far behind, but they're in a perfectly fair position. This guy had to deal with the fact that we got pushed over there and the fact that we committed suicide in the battleship. Mogador gets spotted by Asteroid. Let me see if we can... Yeah, there you go. Finally get some good camera view there. And Asteroid, he takes a bit of a risk pushing in because... just stop that there, since doing the replay analysis is a bit more interesting now, considering the fact that there's no more shot analysis to be doing. We can be... I mean... Asteroid's also part of this Discord. You're in the same clan. If you want, feel free to share it to him. And you know, there's a fair bit of criticism for the players there to help improve there as well. Pushing to B was somewhat necessary to stem the bleed of the points because at this point the game is lost. Why is the game lost? They have 5 battleships. We have 2. Not only that, this guy's low HP and committing suicide. This guy is on his own, low HP. and about to get chased down by everything that can pen him off the face of the earth and kill him. And there's no support. This guy doesn't count. He can't damage these guys. He can't damage any of these guys at all effectively. So yeah, it was a bit of a risk for us to push in if the Vladivostok decided he wanted to pin in like this and the Kremlin pin in like this. But you know, it's a Vladivostok against the Benham, and he knows there's going to be a Benham here because we were spotted heading this way. So that is a fair bit of a risk that he would take to pin him in, but if he pins us in, it's 100% GG. There's no way of a comeback right then and there. Game done. But at the moment, there is still a tiny bit of a chance of a comeback if the Yamato does, again, just takes the chance to turn out. He's full speed, wait for this guy to shoot, leave. Leave somewhere else. And if these guys just maintain a bit of range, there's no need for radar whatsoever. Both the enemy DDs are on the low end of HP. There's no need for these guys to be risking their ships by pinning them in bad positions. Just keep them alive, deal the damage that they can, and keep the game going. Looks like we're complaining about the Moskva. Moskva's in a perfectly fine position. He's doing the right thing, keeping the guns firing. Noob Moskva, no he is not. He's playing the game correctly. Although he could be a little bit better angled. If to incoming over there, you are not doing Moskva, he's in fact doing exactly what the Moskva should be doing. And this is where the savagery is going to come. I'm going to tell you guys are being complete idiots in chat, and what you're telling them is completely wrong. In fact, he responds, yes I am, he is doing everything correct. He has no need, he has no reason to be close. He knows the enemy DDs are low HP, he knows one of them cannot hurt him, he knows we have DDs with some very good HP, and we are in a position where we are losing. Throwing away HP is very bad. His job is to deal damage. We managed to get a torpedo hit on the Kremlin, so that means we might be able to get some HE fire damage, and he's now moving into a position again where he potentially can get flanked. This Yamato is going to go down. If these guys move up, he's going to be under pressure. But then and again, he can park himself there, and he's getting himself in a reasonable position. Benham shouldn't be reversing, he should be going forwards in circles to maintain all the torpedo spam from the other side. The other torpedo tubes should be coming online right about now. So we're losing DPM on the tubes. We're not going to get close enough to get spotted by him at all. Thunderer gets a high caliber, but he's not going to find himself lasting. Asashio nailed down the Yamato, and we should be telling exactly where those torpedoes were and the direction they were, because there is a slight delay, as you can see, and the difference in the angles will tell you exactly the direction of movement and the speed at which those were launched at. Very important information for hunting destroyers. Anyway, so now finally going full speed. This guy's likely just going to leave because he's now got a Moskva up his tailpipe shooting him, and he's just throwing away HP for no real gain whatsoever. Switching the camera to this guy, he's bow in, and there's nothing more he can do at this point. Should try to blow up the St. Louis. Actually, the Ithmo is also killable if he's broadside like that. Looks like we're going to open fire on the St. Louis over lead and fail to. No, actually no, that's pretty decent. Unfortunate RNG though. I couldn't actually see where that went, but now he's angling himself on the miserable end to that of the incoming Ithmo and commits not alive anymore. Let's see, there you go. Camera goes back to here, but the game is basically over at this point. Edinburgh can't kill the Vladivostok. We are not in a position to deal any damage. Unless the enemy DDs commit suicide, we're not getting any points counter income. The enemy team is currently leading, and they can just go blow up our fleet, and that's the end of the game. Asashio gets caught, again 1.4k HP. Mogador should easily be able to make him commit not exist anymore, and looks like it is happening. That Asashio must have made a bit of a mistake there, pulled a bit of a boo-boo, or gotten caught in Moskva radar. Let me see, is that... Nope, it is in fact not a Moskva radar. The Asashio committed a boo-boo. Lucky us. Looks like the enemy Yamato is also committing a bit of a boo-boo, but with us dead, you can see the points. Even with this Asashio kill, we're still a fair bit behind. Lasky pops a radar, Mogidor gets caught, 197 HP, and Lasky should be able to pick that off, and that's again another destroyer committing a boo-boo. He could have just survived and gone up there and caught in the cap. But again, the Alaska, in getting the kill, has committed himself into not fun position. He's now going to be crossfired from over there. Bad play. What he should be doing, realizing he just needs to try to get there, wait this guy in, and then ram him. That is, realistically speaking, his only real option, and in the meantime, try to shoot the Yatago. The Sovietsky Soyuz is a bit out of effective range, and we're trying to torp him down with our Benham. Unfortunately, the replay is a bit broken. It worked last time to see what was on with the Benham, but you can see with the Benham, there is no radar, so there's no reason to be worried about it. The only DDs are dead. There is nothing to spot us. We are now moving up into a position where the Mogador will be able to be torping through us. Yatago takes a heavy hit and will likely find himself going down. But we're not trying to get over there to pin the cap. In case the enemy get it, and not, the Yatago just blew up. But most importantly, trying to cross torp him. And again, this is really just to get points Moskva's making now. Finally, he's actually making a bit of a mistake. He's exposing his side to that of the Vladivostok, and the Vladivostok is just going to go around the corner and make him have commit low HP. And there you go. You can see he has the Moscow has committed not having HP anymore, and in fact he's going to commit no HP left. And the points have ticked, and it's game over. Even if we kill the Sovietsky Soyuz, which we maybe actually we do get a kill, but it's too late because the Moscow committed not exist anymore. If the Moscow had committed still exist, we actually would have won. Sorry, we would not have won. The enemy team would have lost. Big difference there. Because we really just didn't do things correct, and I'm pretty sure there were some complaints about the idiot Yamato. Please don't do that stuff. He was doing alright up until the point he committed suicide. Yes, it was that bad play, but let's be completely honest. It's not like you guys have been doing much better. And that's... I'm just gonna be straight up and tell you that. Right up and honest. Could you guys have won the game? You get the torp. Could we have won the game? Yes. If we'd actually ran away, sorry. If I bumped the mic there. Yes. If you just ran away. And that's the key thing there. In the battleship running away, we went like this and exposed our broadside to that other glass of Kerfurt. Then we wasted ammunitions. Let's have a look at this. The effective damage we did in this game. The damage that actually stickied. He survived. All that damage can be removed. He survived. We didn't do anything to him. He survived. And none of these three ships were significantly pressured in this game. Did a bit of damage to him. He went down later on. It could have helped. Don't think we did anything to him. Nothing to him. But again, you're trying to shoot that from 23 kilometers away. It's a French ship in combat. He's like gonna be dodging that. Tiny bit of damage to him. He ends up going down. So let's see. The only in total, our actual effective game-affecting damage that affected the team positively was probably about 7,000-8,000 damage in total. Because the damage of the Grossokurfus was completely useless in that situation. We could never have really killed him. That's just trying to pad damage. And even then, not really that good of an attempt at padding damage. It's a Kurfus at long range in the open that can easily evade. He's not in the crossfire. We should have been trying to deal with the Hindenburg and the stuff behind us. That is the priority in that situation. Other than that, the initial start of the game was actually quite alright. Our shots were decent. Shooting over islands is always a pain in the ass, so I'm not going to fault or critically acclaim that in any way, shape, or form. Just the tips to use the horizon. It is better to view this in the replay. The replay shows this much more accurately than what you will actually see during a battle. But the important one is just to take the line of travel of your ship and use that, if you're not using mods that already do this, that is, to use that and see what's going on with the enemy's ships, and then try to recognize what their likely move to evade is if they realize they're being shot at. And you saw that with the Hindenburg, he was at all points aware of our shooting at him, simply due to the fact that his target is in the field of view, or rather said, your shells are in the field of view of him shooting at his target. So you need to be aware of that and try to outplay him in that sense, and realize that most likely he's just going to turn bow in to angle against your shots. You want to drop his shells against the Hindenburg with 16-inch guns on his belt, 27mm plate, just like trying to shoot a Moskva at long range, or an island camping Moskva or Stalingrad. Drop the shells on the bow. That's where you're going to deal the most damage. In this case, it's much harder, and you do need to lead more. And that really is a summary of the aim review for you here. Lead a little bit more. And it really is much more than that. As the gameplay though, situational awareness in this case does leave a little bit more to be desired, with your decision to engage the Grossokurfus and then willingly place yourself in the crossfire with everything behind you, compared to dealing with what's behind you and letting a Benham try to torp the Grossokurfus away. Anyways, that's really it for this aim review request turn replay analysis. Hope you find use out of it, and yeah, have a nice day.